Good morning, everyone. Melissa here with Build a Better Bakery for another hashtag Thursday Fave session with you today. I know that some of you have been really interested in alternative income streams while you're baking or to take a break from baking. And these are really just ideas to help you gain more income, keep your business challenging for you, and give you more opportunities in your community. So we're going to be talking all about recipes and kits today. Not a ton of in-depth information. If you have extra questions, just make sure you're commenting on the video, or you can send me a DM or post in the group or on the YouTube channel, and we can discuss more there. Okay, so we're going to take a few minutes today, as I mentioned, covering the recipes and kits, because those are two ways that you can expand what it is that you're offering through your baking skills in your community without actually doing a ton of baking. There might be a little bit of it involved in the kits, but not always. So I want to cover those today. And if we've never met before, I'm Melissa Fryer. It's great to meet you. I'm the main mentor and the owner at Build a Better Bakery, which is the background business that runs all this content. And what I like to do is help bakers take more control of what they're doing. A lot of times bakers are doing this because they love it, they got into it by accident, or they meant to, but they've not really taken a really strong path to get to where they are. They just are kind of flying by the seat of their pants. So what I like to do is help them take control over what's going on and also hold on to more joy in their day and in their business, because that can get lost over time, especially if you are a single entrepreneur who's doing most of it on your own. It can be pretty overwhelming. So, and I also want to help you make a sustainable income, because I want you to stay in business. I want you to continue to serve your community. So those are all important things that I like to talk about. And as a professional baker in both the commercial and home space for close to 20 years now, it's about 17 at the moment, I'm here for you and I have a lot of information to share. Just let me see if I can see the comments that are coming in. Okay, I have to review this in just a sec. Okay, so if you are viewing on this on replay, go ahead and throw up your hashtag replay. If you're viewing on live, go ahead and throw up your hashtag live. If you want to stay in the know about these, you can do a few things. You can check the events in the group. Usually if there's anything coming up, you'll see the events for that month up there within the first few days of the month. You can send me a friend request on Facebook. That's to Melissa Fryer. I'll accept it, and then you'll be able to get invites to any new events that I make. You can also hang out on our free email list. That is where I send usually replay links and resources. So you're not going to get the invitation like you would on the platform for the live, but you will get the replays later on. Or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is great for video replays, and that usually gets uploaded pretty soon after the original one. So that's where you can stay more up to date on the daily happenings of the video. So I would definitely get on all of those free options. You don't have to pay for anything. I just send you information. I do go live every Thursday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time when I am working, which is most Thursdays. And it's right here in the Bakery Business School group on Facebook. So if you're viewing this on YouTube, know that the live is happening in the group, but the YouTube channel will be getting a replay pretty soon after the live. And I just want to make sure you're getting some new, fresh content regularly, so you feel like, things are, more consistent and fresh for you, and you can speak with me if you need to about anything that we're talking about for the month. All right, we're going to hop right in with recipes as an income stream. I get questions about this where people want to sell their recipes to make a few extra dollars on the back end. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about it if you want to enter in. First, I think you'll need to decide if having your recipes as part of your business secrets, the thing that certain things in your business that other people don't know about, is that important to you or not? For some people, it's going to be very important and they're not going to want to share that information. For other people, they might not care as much. It just depends on what type of person you are. Sorry, I'm just looking for the live isn't showing up on there. So ask yourself that first. And if you would prefer that no one knows exactly how to make your items to maybe stifle competition or just make sure you're maybe the only person in the area that does things a certain way, I would not suggest doing this. So even if it seems like a quick fix, something similar, I would not sell recipes. I would just cut that out. Or if you're going to sell recipes, maybe don't sell your main recipes, the ones that you want to keep under wraps. And if you come up with recipes, then you want to share them publicly after that are different, that's perfectly acceptable. Then you still have your main ones to yourself. Some people who don't bake often or are interested in creating a cookbook soon, if you're kind of moving out of the daily baking, you may decide that recipe selling is more important to you. And that might be how you're going to use your skills after the main part, after baking for a period of time. And that would be a good opportunity for you. If you do decide to sell, remember that you're aiming to make the recipes as straightforward and useful as possible. So if you're going to do it right. Don't just send something that's kind of half done and try to sell it. Do it all, make your recipe all the way through. Look at some really popular recipe blogs and baking blogs and see how they're doing it. Look at everything that they're including. This will definitely be accurate measurements in both standard and metric. So if you're doing just cups, you might want to convert to grams as well, just to help people in different parts of the world or just people who like to bake differently to be able to follow along with you. But also having photos of the process. So actually doing the recipe at home and taking good photos of each part so people can really understand what it is that you're doing. Bonuses would be videos if you want to take some videos, also including nutritional facts, alternatives, substitutions, and even an FAQ section if you get a lot of questions about the recipe, or there's certain parts about the recipe that you want to explain further. You could even tie in affiliate marketing if that's kind of the avenue you want to go down into. That could be by linking special tools, things like that used in the recipe. And that could bring a little bit of a commission on the back end for you. I do some affiliate marketing myself, and although I don't focus on that, I do want to let you know that getting a lot of traffic to wherever it is, like your blog or whatever it is you're sharing a recipe, that's where the commissions are going to build up. If you're really only selling a few of these, the commissions, even if every person is buying that thing, the commissions aren't going to be that much. So it's really kind of a high traffic opportunity. Something else you could do if you have this online is you can allow ads on your website or on your blog. But with this one, I would highly caution the use of specifically pop-ups and different kinds of ads that get in the way of the viewing of the recipe. They're trying to get people to click, usually accidentally click on an ad so that you get revenue. And those are super annoying for someone who uses recipes online. I usually leave websites that have those because I don't want to mess with it. And it's just a big issue and a huge problem in that industry right now. So if you're going to start doing this, just really think about how ads and pop-ups are going to look for you and try to make it in a way where it's not going to cause people to click off of your site because then you're going to lose the ad revenue anyway. So just trying to keep them on the site. And there are plenty of baking blog recipe style templates. They're, a few years in now, a lot of people use them. And I think I would suggest definitely looking into that and maybe paying for those specific templates because it makes the recipe use of the viewer so much easier and it allows people to stay on your site longer. So that's going to end up being more money for you over time. So definitely look at that kind of formatting if you're going to do this on a regular basis. And if you want to keep it simple, there are some people who just want to sell a few recipes. They're not really interested in doing a blog, writing about it, whatever. They're just trying to get the information out there. You could create a recipe card and offer it as just a simple download, or even literally print it out and sell it that way as kind of a one-time purchase. Or if you wanted to create a digital cookbook online or a physical cookbook and sell it that way retail, that might be a better avenue for you as well if you don't want to mess with the blogging and all of the SEO and the websites. So the nice thing about recipes, from what I've researched, is I guess I'm considering it a nice thing. You cannot copyright a list recipe. So, which means no matter what you write as part of your listed recipe, no one's going to come after you and sue you like, hey, that was my recipe, or I've done that before, etc. It is part of the copyright law that a list of ingredients cannot be under copyright. So no matter what you put in your recipe, you're not going to get into any trouble for that. Which is good and bad. I know many bakers who use family recipes and also doctored popular recipes. So a lot of times recipes are going to be very similar to each other. And that could give you some alarm bells, but that's why I'm bringing this up, that you don't need to worry too much about that. So it could be good and bad because once you print your recipe and sell it, then someone else could resell it. And there's nothing you can do about it because you can't claim that. But there are petitions for copyrighting certain parts of the recipe. So if you add a bunch of specific specific creative instructions or videos of yourself or specific selections of recipes, things like that. If you can claim that it was yours originally and show the proof, then that is easier to copyright. But again, that would be kind of like a petition into it. So just keeping all of that in mind. Personally, I get questions about this a lot. Can you send me your chocolate cake recipe, that kind of thing. And at this time, I'm really keeping my recipes to myself. I haven't decided that it makes sense to sell them because I'm still baking actively and I don't necessarily need that small amount of income in return for that important part of my business because I'm not doing the online blog thing, all that. So I haven't done it, but sometimes when I teach classes, I do give out versions of the recipe, but it's not exactly what I do at home. So I'm still, helping them get a good recipe in hand, but it's not necessarily exactly every little thing that I have going on. Okay, number 2, let's look at kits. This one is probably my favorite of the two. It's definitely the one I've got more experience with. Okay. Finally got it up. Anne says, yes, I hate those ads. Yeah, I'm not exactly, I think I know why, right? They are trying to get you to essentially accidentally click on an ad, or I know that the amount of time that you're looking at it, I'm pretty sure you get ad revenue for that. But it's causing a lot of issues, and I think that it makes me even feel bad about following the person that I'm trying to get the information from. If you go to any of the much larger blogs where they have tons of followers, they're not doing that, right? Because they know that people are leaving the site. So totally agree with you, and I hope that ends sometime soon. Okay, looking at kits as additional income stream. So this option is one I've used many times, and if you are a baker and you're working through holidays, it's possible you've done this already. So let me know if you've done kits before. Let me know what kind of kits you've done. You could view the term kit in many different ways. So it doesn't have to be just one type of kit. It could be kind of a situation where you're selling the steps and the pieces to a project where the buyer's performing part of the task that you would normally perform. It could be a lot of what it was you were going to do, or it could be just a little. It kind of depends on what the kit experience is, what it is that they're trying to take part in. The experience is more what you're selling at this point. So when you're marketing these things and writing copyright to put in your ads or whatever it is you're doing, keep in mind that the point of it is not necessarily what's in the kit per se, or that how you would normally sell a different product. This is more about what they're going to get out of it and how their experience with the kit is going to go. Kits can be various types. One example on one far end would be something like a dry kit. So like if they were going to make some kind of biscuit, you would be putting together the ingredients and have a recipe. So it's really kind of just a recipe, but you're just getting everything together for them so they don't have to shop, they don't have to figure out what to buy. And that's a really good gift option, holiday option. It's something for people to do with their family members or their small children without having to go out and spend a bunch of money on a huge bag of flour when they really only need 1 cup. So it's helpful to people, to get that experience and that convenience. And then another type of kit could be something like a cookie kit, which is usually what I'm providing. Different types of kits, cookie kits, cake kits, that kind of thing. And in this instance, you're kind of doing more work on the back end and you're getting them set up. So really, in my experience, they're really just doing the decorating. So you're still doing the baking part of it, but they are able to do kind of the fun part of the decorating experience. So you're providing pre-made cookies, pre-made icing, things like that. Those are going to be more expensive because you're doing more work. So one thing to think about, and I'll mention in just a second, is the pricing of these kits needs to be spot on. Because it's really easy to lose money in these, thinking that the value is lower because you're not doing some of the work, but we have to remember that the experience is what they're buying. And depending on how much work you are doing, it could be very close to what it would have been originally anyway. So just keeping that part in mind. I've had a ton of success with those types of kits, and just making sure your marketing's on point. Selling during holidays is a bigger market, birthdays, things like that. So it kind of focusing around an event. Okay. Something else that you'll need to include is, of course, clear instructions. So if you're expecting somebody to know how to do X, Y, Z, they probably don't. Literally telling them how to open a bag of icing, how to deal with the product after it's made. They might not know any of that information. So clear instructions are important. You'll get more in my experience, you'll get more repeat customers if they feel confident about how they go through the kit and their end product. So if you're really just kind of throwing some stuff in a box and trying to sell it to them, they're likely not going to feel as good about the experience overall. So that's where the instructions come in. You might need to even send photos or like QR links to videos or photos, or even a little write-up like a Google Doc or something for them to look at, just to help them along the way, especially if you don't have a printer or you just want them to have extra information on hand. There's places where you can put things like videos and instructions for free online that they can just click over and look at. I do want to mention to not skimp on materials or packaging just because it's a kit. For instance, there are some people that I know that use a different recipe for kits. For their cookies, it's a cheaper recipe and it's meant so that the kits can be cheaper. But what's happening is those people are eating the cookies. Even if it's mostly kids, you know, a parent or two is eating a cookie. And they think that that's what your main product tastes like. So try not to skimp on the materials here. You want it to be a representation of what it is that you do normally. And then also the packaging. Sometimes kits can be kind of heavy. So if you're buying kind of low-grade packaging just to save on cost, it might not even make it home. It might spill out. I've seen kids spill boxes that are kind of flimsy, and also boxes that don't hold the product correctly, ends up smashing a lot of it. So just making sure you're, being aware of that. And then also, as I mentioned in the instructions, making sure they know how to keep it stable until they use it. Like for instance, sometimes for holidays, I'll sell kits 3 or 4 or 5 days before the actual event because it's midweek, or they need to travel with it, like for Christmas, things like that. So how to keep the kit stable, and then how to keep the products fresh or store them after they're done, just so everyone kind of knows how to keep things for longer and keep it nice. And for me, like I said, I do a lot of themed kits for holidays and events, but you can check with your local community because you might have certain holidays or experiences that people take part in that's very specific to your location. So finding out what those are and then creating kits around that, that might be more of what they are interested in. Okay. And she says, all I want to do is see the recipe, without the added junk. I've done decorate your own cookie kits and cupcake kits. Yeah. So Ange, tell us about the cupcake kit. Is it just the baked cupcakes? Is it kind of like the cookie kit where it's the baked cupcakes, the icing in the bags, and the toppings? Let us know. I have not done cookie kit or cupcake. I've done a cake kit that is a stacked cake. It's iced and it's covered in fondant, and then I let the fondant dry for a day or two. And then I send them home with a pack of markers and some icing. And it's meant to be like a Mother's Day or a Father's Day thing. So they take it home with the other parent, and then they decorate it. The kids and the parent decorate it and then give it as a gift. So it's kind of like a card, but it's also a treat. It was very popular at the last place I worked, last place we were at, but it was expensive to sell because I'm at home making these cakes all the way through basically, and even covering in fondant and then buying the markers and all of that. But people were paying it because they thought it was super cute. So that's an option too. We'll see if she gets back to us. Okay, now to recap real quick here, adding more income streams of any kind. These or any of the income streams we talked about earlier in the month, or even the one that we're going to talk about next week. It's really a key to creating a special financial cushion that you might not already have in your baking business. And it's going to sustain you for longer because these options are going to fit into the spaces where regular baking does not fit in. It's going to give you different opportunities and get you in front of different parts of the community. So you might want to consider recipe sales like we spoke about, or kit sales to add in or kind of switch up if there's room for those kinds of options in your offers. Your baking skills are varied. So it's not just going to be baking only. That's why we're talking about this, because you can kind of open it up what it is that you do and give people more options to get connected with you and use your skills. As I mentioned, this month is the month that we're talking all about the income streams. So make sure to tune in next week for our last section on income streams. And it's going to be usually in here in the group every Thursday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Or you can catch the replay later that day. It should be in the pinned posts of the featured post videos of the group, or over on YouTube. You can find it there, or in your email later on, you'll get a replay link. So whichever's easiest for you. You can also set up your own time with me. So I do have private coaching calls available. If you want to discuss maybe one of the income streams, get started with that. We can plan it. You can get started right away. This week, I did want to mention a couple days ago on the 18th, we did cover my personal favorite income stream in a live workshop, and it was called Hosting Baking and Decorating Classes. So if that's something that you want to get into, you want more information on, I am still offering access to that, even though it's after the live. There isn't all of the bonuses that come with the live, but most of the bonuses are still coming with the replay. But it's included in a Q2 workshop bundle. We did 3 workshops in Q2, so all 3 are in the bundle. It's at a little bit of a discount as well because it's replay information. We focused on how to start and succeed with classes, how to deal with pop-ups and markets, and also deep dive into the wedding industry. So if any or all of those are interesting to you, you can get that affordable bundle packed with as many bonuses as I can send in the website right now. That's buildabetterbakerynow.com/workshops. You'll see it there as the Q2 bundle, and you can get it right now. You'll get a replay email after your purchase, and you'll be able to view all the content. Okay, Ange got back to us. She says, yes, it's like cookie kits, but I do 3 chocolate and 3 vanilla cupcakes, 2 bags of icing and sprinkles. Okay, she said she'll post a picture later if she hasn't. That sounds like a great idea, especially if you're already baking a ton of cake. You can absolutely bake some cupcakes on the side, freeze them, or put them in the pack right away. And if you have a storefront or something similar, having some very kind of generic decorating kits out or themed for the holiday or the season, people like to pick those up too, because sometimes they do babysitting events, or they have like a mom's night where they want to keep the kids busy, or they're going out with their sisters and they want to do something fun. So there's lots of opportunities to sell those. Okay, hopefully that's helpful for you today. I love income stream information, so if you have questions, let me know. I look forward to getting to know you better. If you would like to join our Elite Mentorship Program, we do weekly coaching. We have a vault library of information from all of our coaches in there for you. You get free access to the workshops that we do. There's just lots of goodness in there. Or if it's more your style, I will see you in your next private coaching call. Okay, bye y'all.